Look, listen. Okay. Taylor just got out of the back. Oh, wait. This is Look, Listen with Geese Guyera. It's a podcast about Pokemon and other things. Every Friday, we discuss an episode of Pokemon, anime, the Terapagos' Gleaming Adventure. No Geese this week. There's just Taylor and Michael. First of all, Taylor tells me he got the luxury of using the facilities this morning. I sure wish I could use the bathroom, but they're working on the sewer outside, so there's no water. I don't know what I'm going to do, because I got to get to work, and I got to shower to work. I can't go in with gross hair. What am I, an animal? Banging on the door super loud early in the morning. Boom, 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 boom. Plumber, maintenance, we're coming in.
Why did they come in? What did they need?
They said, flush that toilet. And I said, I can't. And they said, somebody flushed the toilet while we were working out there, so we got a bunch of poop on ourselves.
Oh, no.
I guess they were real upset, so they ran around waking everybody up.
They went through the entire apartment accusing people of pooping on them.
They did bang on every single door. So that's how my morning's going. Clambos, here's the thing. This is recorded a little before it's going to post. So the Poke News of the Week this week is about very exciting news regarding Pokemon Day. But by the time you hear this, Pokemon Day will already have happened. So big announcements. Aren't those exciting? Yes. Oh, big exciting news. Giant surprise. Guess what, Clambos? If you're hearing these words, that means I'm in Japan. Which means next week you'll get some Pokemon Center footage instead of the regularly scheduled podcast, because the annual tradition for Look Listen with Geese and Guyera, Taylor, is you get to see some Pokemon Center footage from Japan once a year. That's the new segment of the week. Speaking of segments, let's move on to Lookin', Watchin', Playin', Eatin', Listenin'. I did watch the movie I said I was going to watch, which of course was Perfect Days, and Perfect Days, more like perfect movie, because wow, what a piece of cinema.
Really?
Oh my God. It's a Japanese film by a German director set in Tokyo. I just go watch that movie. Find it in a theater. It is something else. Wowzers, wowee. It's significantly better than Madam Web, and I don't want to tell you what the genre is, because I want you to just know it's set in Japan. Have a seat in the theater. Enjoy yourself.
Oh, sick.
Also, I beat Crisis Core. That game's fun.
What did you think of the ending?
Well, I've seen the ending before, but the ending's good. It's not as good as the ending of Perfect Days, the film by... But no, it's a fun game. I felt so sad when you couldn't go back to Midgar, because there's a point in the end it says, okay, no more going back. But you can still do all your little missions, so it actually doesn't make any sense lore-wise.
Yeah, that was an oversight. I think they should have just given people the big warning when they say, this is the point of no return, and that would have been it. Instead of, oh, you can't go back to Midgar for obvious reasons, but you can still do little missions for us.
Yeah, that's so confusing, because I beat the game and then loaded it back up just at the save point before the final boss and just started going through the missions, because I didn't do hardly any missions because, again, I was just trying to blitz through it so I could beat it before Rebirth. But a lot of the missions are in Midgar. I guess it's not real. The missions aren't real. No, they are real.
I thought they were.
Some of them are... What do you call those things?
VR missions?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But I did enjoy being that late game and just absolutely destroying the baby easy missions. There's so many guides on Crisis Core on how to become overpowered, and I actually did not end up following any of them. I just brute force the final boss, because Chapter 10, the enemies do get a lot stronger. So I just had to get an OP ability for most of the enemies, which is the blast wave thing that just throws enemies out of the battle and you auto win. But for fighting the final boss, I just had to buy the Hell Materia through the Wutai shop. So I did some mission chain just to unlock that, and then spent the entire final boss just using 100 ethers and casting more and more hell Blizzaga and Hell, Faraga and Thundaga.
I think I did something that involved, I don't know, maybe slots.
Yeah, well, there's always slots going. That's the whole point of the game. But people love the costly punch and breaking the damage limits.
There you go, costly punch. That's what I did.
That's a good one. I did not do that. I'll do that at some point. And for my eating, I ate a 59-cent Jumbo Jack to celebrate Jack in the Box's 70-something anniversary.
They've been around that long?
Baby, yeah.
No.
Well, I have my Jack in the Box periods. I used it. They at one point in 2003, they were my favorite fast food restaurant. Then I hated them for a long time. Then they were my only option to eat, so I ate there all the time with the munchie meals, and it was a good price. Then I hated them, and now I'm liking them again, like I mentioned a couple weeks ago, because the meal, don't tell them, but the meal is reasonably priced in 2024. It doesn't make sense. It's a full, delicious double cheeseburger, large fries, large black iced coffee, and it's $6. And that's not normal. Don't tell, fellas, don't tell anyone.
I think I had the exact same trajectory of loving them until around 2003, 2004, then hating them, and I just never went back.
Well, it happens to the best of us. Taylor, tell us what you played this week regarding Unicorn Overlord and Tahini.
I didn't think it was possible, but
now time for Taylor's Play of the Week. Wait, hold on. Let me get it clean. And now, presenting Taylor's Playing Video Games of the Week. Take it away.
You know, when Geese is gone, I really miss her little
God.
applause.
Guess what? Half of those don't get picked up on the recording.
Oh, no.
Remember we always had that issue where we tell her she has to say goodbye several times because it's not picking up her goodbyes?
Yeah.
Everything she says in a high-pitched voice doesn't get picked up in the recording.
Oh, no.
So
Poor
that's
Geese.
why the hellos weren't getting picked up. There's an entire section of the podcast where she just went, and it just gone. Like, that's not even going to pick up. Anyway, go ahead. Unicorn demo.
So Unicorn Overlord. Unicorn. That's what I typed into PlayStation Network to see if they had a demo up. They put up the demo for Switch. So I start downloading the demo for Switch. As soon as it's done downloading and Switch is charged, demo comes up on PSN. So then I download it for that.
That's me in Live Alive. I buy the darn game on Switch and then play a mission, and then they announce, and now coming to PlayStation 5, Live Alive with trophies.
You know, this is how sick my mind is. As soon as you told me, oh, that's available on PlayStation, I just never picked it up again. I don't know what's wrong with me. I should talk to a therapist about that or something. Yeah, so Unicorn Overlord, very good game. Really surprised at how it sort of combines a lot of the parts of the Gambit system from FF12 and kind of incorporates that into a Fire Emblem style game.
You had me with FF12, you lost me with Fire Emblem.
Yeah, if you don't like tactics games, you're not going to like this. It's very fun, very pretty.
I would like to like tactics games. In my heart, I love Final Fantasy Tactics. In my brain, I don't think I do. But the thought of liking it, I'm a big fan of.
Well, because it's such a good story. It's a very, very good story. Probably my favorite Final Fantasy story. This one, Unicorn Overlord, has the issue where they're like, oh, we're doing kind of a medieval fantasy type game. How did they speak in all of the Game of Thrones series? Or Song of Ice and Fire? Let's just do that. So they're talking about wait until he's a man grown. Would that I could have attended. And I'm just sitting there thinking, this wasn't the case. Like, you didn't always have to use the words that George R.R. Martin did.
The big one was bend the knee. Everybody says bend the knee now. And that's just, it was in one episode of one season of Game of Thrones. And now everybody acts like that's just been the terminology since time immemorial.
I just don't understand how you can have all of this fantasy source material and people are still just saying, nope, whatever Song of Ice and Fire did, that's what we're doing.
It's called making money.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't know who the audience is that's like, oh, yeah, ooh, they're saying, would that I should, or
would that he could.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to Taylor's Eating of the Week. One bowl of tahini? Is it enough?
Here's the problem. I'm very good at regulating my own diet. Hanging out with people who just eat on a whim and just say, I feel like eating a bunch of sweet potatoes. And I'm sitting there thinking, you don't want to just eat the same thing that you all reliable? You're not trying to eat that? Very difficult to keep up with that. The theme of the week has been eating a bunch of vegetables with this very good tahini sauce, tahini-based dressing. So that's the new excitement here, and I guess
that does sound very exciting. I got it.
It's very good. I shouldn't disparage it too much, but I just want to have my own meals. I want to sit down, eat a plate of food that I choose for dinner, and go to bed.
That's all I want. That's what I do every day. Well, don't always get what I want. I wanted some raisins, but it was raining too hard.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, you guys have been getting crazy weather, right?
A lot of rain. And now, moving on to Poké News.
Poké News of the week.
Now, unfortunately, I've already spoiled Poké News of the week. And double unfortunately, very useless news for you. But February 27th, a.k.a. Aka the Past, Pokemon Day has happened, and there were a lot of big announcements on Pokemon Day. I really like how they make sure everybody gets it on the 27th. So it airs 6 a.m. in Los Angeles and 11 p.m. in Japan. So we're all on the same day.
Oh, that's cool.
God, I'm hoping for Legends Kyurem. Give me a new Legends game set in Wild... It doesn't have to be Wild West, but in the past of Unova, please, God.
That'd be very sick. I actually played a bunch of Pokemon Go. It's replaced... It's real good if you don't have social media and you don't know what to do, but you're feeling kind of fidgety.
Taylor's moving his hand around as if he were holding a fidget spinner for the listeners at home.
I got Shaman. Oh, and I got all the dragons, or the Cresselia, Heatran, Giratina, and Darkrai from the Pokemon event, which was pretty fun. So I did
You're
like
doing a bunch of raids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would just drive around.
And you just found other people there too?
No, I would look for. I can do up to a 12,000 by myself.
You're doing 5-star raids by yourself?
I don't know if that's 5-star.
The legendaries should be 5 stars.
No, it wasn't a legendary. So those are the catch rewards for like Road to Sinnoh, I think. So you do the raids. After 2 raids, you get an encounter with Cresselia. After 4, Heatran, then Giratina, and then Darkrai.
You beat a Giratina and a Darkrai by yourself?
No, I just caught him. So those were the rewards for the quests. You get like an encounter as the reward.
Oh, okay. Very confused because there are raids going on right now with those Pokemon. Okay.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting those. Unfortunately, they were all 2-star, but that's fine. They're strong enough.
I'm so lucky. You Clambos don't understand. Right now, where I am, there's always so many great Pokemon Go players at all the raids. They're all like tons of level 50s, and I'm just, oh yeah. And I'll jump in a raid, and there'll be 18 of us, and I'll go, I don't have to worry about anything. And then I was walking the other day, there were a bunch of little things going on with the raids, and I'm walking towards not Primal Reversion, that's the other guys. The what are they called? The Dialga Palkia.
Origin version or
Origin
something?
form. Yeah. So there's an Origin form Dialga near my work, and I'm walking over there, and I see a bunch of people already in the raid. They're waiting for the countdown timer to go down. And there's this girl that... Wait, did I already tell this story?
I haven't heard it.
And there's this girl there. She set up all her phones. And she's just tapping. Wait, shouts out Eloise. You did a good job on that raid. Good work,
That's
Eloise.
sick. Hopefully I'll be able to catch some cool stuff.
Catch some cool stuff.
Nobody plays it out here. Nobody. It's also unfortunate. I got Shaman, real excited about it, and I have one of the glitched versions that cannot learn Magical Leaf.
I'm unfamiliar with this.
It's a known issue, and Niantic says, "Oh, it's fixed," but it wasn't fixed.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Way to go, Niantic. I can't wait till I get all my Kecleons so I can finally get through the gosh darn last year's Master Masterworks Research.
What do you get for that one?
Shiny Jirachi.
Oh, I love Jirachi. That's super sick.
And you'll love it even more, shiny.
Woo.
All right, Taylor. No geese here, so we got to move right on along to... And now, time to discuss an episode of Pokemon. Taylor, what happened last week? What's the name of the episode? What happens? One sentence synopsis. Take it away. You got a lot of work to do, girls.
All right.
Are you looking up at the sky trying to think of this out of your mind?
I'm trying to remember what happened last week. I remember being pretty upset with it, right? Didn't I dislike it?
We loved
No,
it.
it was the pigs. It was Land of the Pigs, and they somehow made me want to watch it, and it had me cracking up several times. One sentence synopsis for this one is Lico, Roy, and Fritos investigate a dungeon from Mega Man Legends.
That's a good, yes. And also, what's the name of the episode in English?
Episode 37, Fuecoco, you're becoming a delinquent?
Or
Fuecoco turns bad?
Or in Japanese, Hogeta waru ni naru?
That's a very sick sounding Japanese title.
Waru ni naru. Hogeta. Oh, I should have memorized the song they sing in this episode. I intended on it, but then I went to sleep instead like an idiot.
This is all I have to say is what an episode for Geese to miss out on.
That's what I told her. I said, I bet she would have loved this one. The babies.
This is very good. A bunch of babies, bunch of singing. So many good thumbnail images.
You think? I wish you would have taken a picture because I didn't take any pictures. I got to do that today.
No. Just pretty much anything where they're wearing glasses is gold.
Yeah. Clambos, the episode begins with Frito getting a job for everybody. Now, I'm upset at the very end of this episode, and it's going to be difficult to keep it in until the end. So I'm going to say right now, they absolutely deserve to be paid for this job because
you should have seen me furiously typing in my notes.
Oh my god! All right.
So angry.
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. Frito's got himself a job. He's gonna move a rock for an archaeologist friend.
So many silly things that were happening at the beginning of this episode. Everybody acts very incredulous when he says a job, as if they haven't been talking about money troubles.
They just can't. They don't believe he found a good job that pays well, apparently.
Yeah. Even though the last one paid great, I think. The Wild West Bramble Patch one.
Oh, yeah. Bramble? Caitlin?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the one.
Everybody's excited about this job opportunity. Clambos, we got ourselves another desert episode. They love the desert around these parts. Where is this desert? Perhaps Unova, on account of all these crocodiles you're about to see, on account of all these sand dials.
I do really like
Crocorocs.
They
crocodiles.
These kind of and Fuecoco fits right in.
Get a Totodile in there.
Very sick that they kept the area kind of similar to Bramblin.
As if they haven't made much progress.
Yeah, but I mean, you normally don't see that very much in these. It's normally like, okay, well, last episode we were in an ice fortress. This episode we're in a jungle, and next episode we're gonna be on a volcano. And in this instance, they're just looking around.
We're definitely in the desert Egypt world video game.
Always my least favorite in any JRPG.
Really?
Yeah, I think that may have started with
Final Fantasy VII. It was rough. I was stuck in that desert for so long.
Snow was more rough for me in 7. I hated that snow section. Skies of Arcadia, the desert was really rough, and Legend of Dragoon was not my favorite desert.
All right, we get the theme song for the episode, and then we come back. Terapagos is just loving the sun with Sprigatito. Roy and Fuecoco, of course, are practicing battling against a shiny Rayquaza cardboard cutout.
I'm going to say this is the best training that we've seen so far.
I don't know how that's really going to help against Rayquaza, but what you'll notice with Roy in this scene is his eyes. They look very weird.
It's so funny. Oh God, just his image in the background with his eyes half open was cracking me up so much.
Yeah, I got to get a picture of that one. I immediately thought, oh, is it too bright out for my boy? They're in this hot desert, sunshine blaring. Luckily, Snow Runt comes out and gives Roy some delicious ice-cold berry juice straight out of Shuckle Shell.
I wonder how long it's going to take me to come around to the idea of drinking out of an animal shell.
And then Murdoch comes out, and he's got sunglasses for everyone. Liko, why don't you try some? Oh, Liko doesn't really want any, but who is interested in those sunglasses more than anyone?
Roy and Fuecoco.
Fuecoco is the correct answer, yes.
Yeah. I mean, Roy put them on straight away.
No, Roy, look.
Listen.
Roy is a fan of the sunglasses. He thinks he looks sick, but Fuecoco, that boy's losing his mind over those sunglasses. He can't wait to put them on. He loves them.
So many good shots of them with those sunglasses. I want to know who handled the art direction. Not art direction, but the direction of this episode, because it's very funny. Everything was cracking me up.
It's written. Go on the Wikipedia, it should say. So then we get a scene of the Rising Volt Tacklers just lounging around in the meeting room, breakfast nook. Apparently they got to wait to start working because there's the archaeologists, they got to move something or dig something, or it's not clear.
It's a weird job. The fact that this guy was saying, hey, let me call Fritos to move a rock, when it seems like there's so many Pokemon that can do that.
Clearly, as we will learn. And then they hear a commotion outside. Fritos and Captain Pikachu will investigate. We see they have quite a team of Pokemon here at this archaeologist excavation temple site, Mega Man Legends zone. There's a Luxray, a Diggersby, a Minccino, and they're all hard at work. But then we see something in the sands. It looks like some crocodiles and crocorocs. What is going on here, Clambos?
I love Fuecoco's little face when he's looking at the eyes in the sand. That long shot of him smiling and staring at it.
He saw them this early in the episode?
He sees them pretty much as soon as they get to... Oh, well, no. He sees them when they first get inside the Mega Man Legends level.
No. There was just Luxray looking at them right now.
And what ability is that?
To see... It may just be more... This is more just like a Pokedex entry kind of thing. Luxray, like his info is Luxray uses its keen eyesight to locate... With it, when its eyes gleam gold, it can spot hiding prey, even those that take shelter behind a wall. Ooh. Luxray sees the Sandiles, Crocodiles, and Crocorocs all hiding in the sand. Apparently, they've been causing trouble, destroying equipment and little tractor trailers and the like. Now, why they've been doing this, it's not very clear. My first thought was, do they really love that rock? I don't know.
It reminds me of that episode of Avatar. Wasn't there like a...
Oh, yeah, Avatar episode 1?
It was something with like a badger, like a big spirit.
The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about James Cameron's Avatar episode 1.
I guess it's kind of what they were doing, but...
That's what it sounds like, because it's very similar to Avatar, the Last Pandoran. Oh my God, though, we learn... Very terrifyingly, I'm sure Geese would be losing it. This archaeologist man, who I'm fairly certain never gets a name, this unnamed man, tells Fritos, I'm gonna need you to exterminate these crocodiles. Now,
the wording was very frightening.
There's no possible world where in English they're gonna use the word exterminate, but we'll see.
They're probably just gonna say get rid of.
I guess.
Maybe they'll say relocate.
So then we cut back to the Rising Volt Tackler room, and they're not thrilled about this whole extermination thing.
To be clear, just to have like a little mini vent before we both are yelling at whoever decided about the ending of this episode. Their task is to remove the rock, and they have been given the additional task of solving a problem involving all the crocodile Pokemon.
And spoilers, it's a happy ending and everything works out. So Fritos and Captain Pikachu are going to investigate further, I guess, into this whole crocodile situation. Well, at this point, they don't know it's Sandile, Rock and Crocodile, but we'll soon find out. I mean, if you know anything about Pokemon, you can tell it's them because you see their little eyes.
One of the sickest characters in One Piece is a desert-dwelling character named Crocodile.
Well, how about that? Immediately, as has been the case lately, the children convince Fritos to let them accompany him.
It was real funny because he did the right thing where he was like, okay, you can do that, knowing it's dangerous. And he says, but you have to stick together. And I was like, you know what, Fritos? That's good. Hope that happens.
Well, we cut to the inside of the ruins. Fun Egypt level, like I mentioned. Fun Mega Man Legends dungeon, like Taylor mentioned. It's a video game. And Fuecoco sees a sand dial in the sand. And my first thought was, oh man, he's probably jealous of his sunglasses eyes because Fuecoco loves sunglasses.
Yep. Fuecoco's relationship with other Pokemon is very different than anything I've seen so far. He like idolizes everybody.
Yeah, he does love a lot of pokes.
It's just fun, like watching him look at Charizard like, man, what a sick fire Pokemon.
Yeah, he loves Charizard. And then, Taylor, a sand dial does something to Fuecoco's rear end. What is it?
It gives it a little bite.
Oh my god, and then it runs off. But Roy and Fuecoco aren't going to take that bite standing down. Or what's the phrase?
Sitting down?
Is that the phrase? They're not going to take it sitting down?
I mean, standing down is like a military thing, right?
What is the term? What is the normal, everyday human phrase people use? They're not going to take that laying down.
Laying down, that's it. Oh, man. Sitting down is...
Third time's the charm.
Yeah.
Some people misuse phrases very confidently. I don't know how they do that. Roy and Fuecoco aren't going to take that laying down, so they immediately give chase to this sand dial and just run off away from everybody.
This has to be a record from somebody saying everybody stay together to somebody wandering off.
Well, guess what happens next? It's the consequences of their action. It's darn quicksand. Well, looks like it's over for Roy and Fuecoco. They sink and they perish in some quicksand.
Reminds me of Prometheus.
Oh, yeah. Then we cut to Liko, Sprigatito, Fritos, Captain Pikachu. They're looking at so many footprints on the ground. Every crocodile footprint you could imagine. It's actually kind of a funny scene when they realize that Roy is gone because Fritos says, what does he say again, Taylor?
He's like, okay, now you have to be very certain to stay close to me. And it takes him a second.
Roy, Liko, whatever you do, don't leave my side. And then there's no Roy because he was in the quicksand. We cut to, at this point, a thank goodness scene of Roy and Fuecoco having survived. Just like all those video games we mentioned before, they just sunk into a lower level to find the secret area with the treasure in it. Just like Super Mario Brothers 2. Just like
Legend of Dragoon.
Just like Super Mario Brothers 3. Just like several video games.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't really think of very many games that have a desert where you don't watch your character spin down into quicksand and then you get a chest.
Yeah. Well, they're in the secret lair cavern of the big old family of Crocodile and Crocorock, and they got a bunch of kids and babies and crying little sand dials, and Roy and Fuecoco both see and hear them.
I was terrified at this point. They're in dark ruins surrounded by quicksand and crocodiles.
No, they're a nice little family. At first I was scared because I thought the crocodile was really mad at his or her. I don't know which is the mother, which is the father, but I
assume the red one is male. I was scared because my assumption wasn't that they were worried about the noise. It was that they were hungry. And I was just looking at Roy and Fuecoco thinking, oh no.
Well, Crocodile is shaking one of the baby sand dials because it ate a screw, and he gets the screw out of the little baby's mouth. Oh my God. Ugh. Geese would love this part. God, Geese, where's the Geese? Geese, there's all these babies, and they're hatching their little sand dial eggs. That's for Geese. Sorry, Geese. You missed it.
Shout out to Geese.
Now, before we go any further, I need to give a big shout out to the fact that the Pokemon that they are spotlighting lately, absolute brilliant decisions. These are all pokes that have been on my team. Crocodile on my Generation 5 team. Low-key Toxtricity on my Generation 8 team. You kidding me? Come on.
Lechonk?
Lechonk is not on my team.
That's a good choice.
So, seems as if the two older crocodiles are trying to keep everything in order. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of baby Sandiles running around and screaming, a lot of noise going on above them. They're a little overwhelmed. And so they decide to try to calm down their babies by banging their tails and making a beat, making a little song. And this crocodile song sounds very similar to the song that Fuecoco's always dancing around to and singing. Interesting. So what does Fuecoco then start to do?
He starts singing.
Okay, gambare, gambare.
It was such a good build-up, too, where they're clapping and they're standing back-to-back with their sunglasses.
Yeah, Roy's getting real into it, and the babies were crying during the crocodile song, but once they hear Fuecoco's song, oh, they're loving it. These babies have never been so happy in their little lives.
Very bold way to announce yourself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he puts the sunglasses on. They're making it real clear. Like, hey, look, we're with you guys. Look, we're little crocodiles.
Just imagine going into a couple's home that has a bunch of crying children because of the noise, and your solution is to start singing in their house.
It's crocodile culture, Taylor. You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. Crocodile culture sounds like a cool, I was going to say clothing company, but that doesn't make much sense. Maybe like a Croc store.
So the babies sing along, and then we cut to Liko and Fritos searching for Roy. Fritos is Sometimes there are line deliveries in the show. I think you didn't have to go that hard, guys. Fritos just sounds legitimately concerned. He's screaming so loud, Roy!
To be fair, I think his tone matched the peril.
That's true. Captain Pikachu, he knows what's up. He's played a video game or two in his life. Captain Pikachu immediately runs over to the quicksand and he says, come on down, the water's fine. And it's a very funny scene because then Frito says, you want us to follow you? In the perfect Lassie, what boy? Timmy's trapped in the well right now?
Very funny for those two because that's something that, like, Fritos and Pikachu are on such a wavelength that they never communicate any of that, as exemplified 2 episodes ago. And now he's like, huh? What?
And now Liko, Fritos, and Captain Pikachu, and Sprigatito begin to sink through the quicksand, at which point they put what I would consider an oddly placed commercial break, because normally the commercial break would be for a cliffhanger type situation, but
yeah,
Captain Pikachu's not, there's no peril or concern because we already know it's safe down there. Like, it would have made more sense to put a commercial break before Roy fell down when we'd really be.
Yeah, that's when I thought they were going to do it.
Well, they didn't. We come back from the commercial, and now we see Roy and Fuecoco in their sunglasses, just like the crocodiles. Roy's singing some real sick songs, and Clambos, look, I say it every week, and I'm going to have to keep saying it every week, but I'm so sorry that the English version of this, it's not possible for it to be that sick.
I'm very concerned that it's just going to be a pirate rap situation.
We'll see. Sandile, crocodile, croc-a-rock. We'll see. But he's saying all their names in Japanese, and it's very, very good. Doing the Gambate remixes. And then even we got real music kicking in, not just them singing. It's a great time.
Man, they're clapping.
Oh, my God. Everybody's singing. They're breaking rocks with the move around we learn from Fritos. And then at this point, we get a little back and forth between the human beings discussing, these guys aren't savage Pokemon like those archaeologists said. They're just a family with a bunch of crying babies, and they want to stop the sound. And then, right as they discuss this, the excavation team starts up again, and all the babies are crying, and all the ceiling is cracking and breaking, and the older crocodiles decide to put an end to this and start climbing up. The children, the humans, immediately follow the older crocodiles to protect them from extermination.
They do say that again, right?
Yes. Well,
okay.
They said it a couple times.
Yeah.
There's one Crocorock I really like. He's got a what do you call that thing? It looks like a clover, but it's doing the same thing as a piece of straw, like the hillbilly look when you keep the piece of straw in your mouth, the long,
like some wheat.
Sure, yeah. It's just like Trico in the Gen 3 anime. Oh God, Luxray sees the crocodiles. Now, actually, I'm not that concerned because Luxray is an electric type, and he's not going to do very good against these ground types, honestly.
They don't really have anything appropriate to deal with the ground types.
Minchino's just a little guy. Just the smallest chinchilla imaginable, and that's who they got to fight off all these quote-unquote savage crocodiles. The Luxray alerts the team that the crocodiles are here, and immediately we get a big giant battle. Minchino use Dazzling Gleam, Diggersby use Hammer Arm, and Roy is screaming, "Stop! No!" So many knocked out teenage Crocoroks.
It's a very frantic scene when the crocodiles confront the archaeology team.
I thought you were trying to continue to use alliteration. You were trying to find more names. But then the mom and dad attack, and they are very strong. Luckily, they easily manage to dispatch Minchino and Diggersby. And they start, they start destroying the equipment again. And Roy's yelling at them to stop. They're in a blind rage, he calls it.
I wonder what could possibly settle everything down.
Fuecoco! Stop them with tackle, is what Roy says. I don't see how one tackle is going to calm down these crocodiles, but...
Well, it's not... I don't know where the logic is. I guess that's just Pokemon.
And immediately, little Fuecoco is just tail whipped away, but Fuecoco rushes back in, and this time he throws on his sunglasses, and he starts to sing and dance. And then the babies come out of the ground because they love Fuecoco's song. And they're joining in, they're crying. But Taylor, Fuecoco's getting tuckered out. He can't sing for much longer. But Roy yells, "Gambate, do your best." And what happens next?
Fuecoco learns a new move. Disarming voice. And uses that.
And it calms down all the adult crocodiles. Oh my God, the day is saved. They're hugging the babies. Now, I gotta really hand it to the writers of this anime for this episode. What they're setting up with Fuecoco works so well plot-wise for his final evolution. Oh, they're doing such a good job setting this up. Good work.
What do you mean?
Man. That's all. Skeledirge is his final evolution, and it's all based around singing. And he has this microphone and a little firebird friend.
Oh, that's sick.
It's very sick. Oh my God, Clambos. Everybody is so proud of Fuecoco. And then Fritos. Okay, we're getting close. We're getting close, Clambos, to the part of the episode that's upsetting.
All of the problems have been solved, save for one so far.
Fritos begins to explain to unnamed archaeologist friend what's been going on, why they're upset. Luckily, all the pokes get along now. Now, at this point, it's been so long they've been out that the other Rising Volt tacklers show up just because they were worried about him, saying, "What took so long? Golly, worried about you guys." And Roy, a member of the Rising Volt tacklers, just a reminder for you listeners who were hired to come here. I'm sorry, Taylor?
Yep. An external person from an organization that was hired to perform two functions, one of which has been performed.
And that was just a bonus one, too. He was just supposed to move a rock to begin with.
Yep.
So Roy, the member of the Rising Volt tacklers, who were hired, good money, hired to remove a rock, Roy says, "Guys, I got a great plan. You remember down in the little quicksand depths, those crocodiles were using round, breaking rocks. Well, why don't we just try it again? Crocodile, use round on that big giant rock. And who'da thunk it, it completely works. The rock is destroyed.
So now, this team of people who were hired to come into the desert to solve the crocodile problem and eliminate the rock obstacle, they have traveled there, performed their task safely and expediently, and now everything's good. Everybody's happy.
They broke the rock, and then they all make a comment about, oh no, Roy, when you had those crocodiles obliterate the rock, you obliterated our pay. I guess this is a Japanese thing where you don't, because in Japan, you're really not, you, as mentioned before, you take the L in situations. You don't want to break harmony. And I guess the contract said, you're going to use your ship to move this rock, and that's what I'm going to pay you for. But because a Pokemon did it that is not related to you, that's a natural force or something. They don't go into this, by the way. I just know as an American, we would have got those guys their money.
Oh, absolutely.
We would have sued them into oblivion. If
you're on the team, you still get the championship ring, even if you barely play.
Very upsetting. I was so... Why are you going to... This is a good, cute episode. I don't know why you're going to make me that upset.
I was shocked, too. I thought they were going to leave with a bunch of gold, and Fritos was going to say, hey, Roy, because you basically spearheaded this entire operation, here's some money for you. Yeah. And he was just going to buy a bunch of glasses for everyone.
Yep, it was all thanks to Roy. That's just our American sensibilities. In Japan, no. Sorry. Not what the contract said. They're not going to pay him. And the brave Asagi flies off. Salami flies away. Roy and Fuecoco say goodbye to all the crocodiles. And Fuecoco uses disarming voice again as a goodbye. And they've decided to solve this problem by just taking breaks when it's sandile nap time. And that is the end of the episode. Okay, all right. Let me quickly get through Professor Frito's seminar of the week. This seminar is all about crocodile. And it asks, what are those glasses-looking eyes doing? What the croc doing?
What do they use those eyes for?
The gangster of the sands, crocodile. What is the secret to those eyes? Is it A, to repel water, B, to block light, or C, to see far away?
It is C, to see far away.
They work like binoculars. And then we get an image of Captain Pikachu on a nummel in the desert with a bunch of baggage. He's so hot. And there's some very suspicious looking crocodiles just ready to, I guess, eat Pikachu. They make these crocodiles our friends in this episode, but then they end the episode on a very terrifying, your life is at risk in this desert.
This episode had so many scenes of peril where I thought Roy was going to die and get eaten.
Oh, God. If only they had paid them the money. This would be an easy 9.5.
That's what I was thinking. I was sitting there saying, what an episode. What a great episode. I can't believe this episode. Just notes, just constantly. Oh, what an episode. What an episode. My last note, wait, they really didn't get paid?
Yeah, I also wrote that. What do you mean they're not going to pay him? Oh, God. Maybe in a later episode, they'll get paid for this job once somebody comes to their senses in the terrible archaeology department with the unnamed man.
Oh, I mean, they must have some kind of at the very least, they got rid of the crocodile problem.
They did everything. Okay, guys, it's a very fun episode. There were lots of laughs, cool music, adorable baby Pokemon. Oh, God. It is a 9, but I'm a 9 with an asterisk that I'm very upset they didn't get paid. And it's so dumb.
I was going to give it a 9.5 until they didn't get paid. I still also want to give it a 9, surprisingly. 9.2. God, I'm frustrated, though. Like, you can't ruin a delicious meal by just giving someone some expired fish at the end of it.
It's like when you go to an Italian restaurant, Taylor, and you ask ahead of time on the phone, do you have complimentary bread? And you show up and you're given complimentary bread and you ask for refills. And then at the end of the meal, they tell you, oh, our manager isn't here, but here's your check that has charged you for complimentary bread.
So ridiculous.
Oh my god.
What a weird stance to take, too.
That was a rough day. That anecdote or that metaphor that actually happened to us, and it was so awkward and weird because they were trying to charge me, and I said, well, Taylor ate most of the bread, and then Taylor said, just take it out of his tip, and then the guy ripped the check out of my hand and then wrote 0 for the tip, and I guess we paid for the complimentary bread.
It was just such a weird stance for him to take. And I mean, I've worked in restaurants. Normally, when stuff like that happens, you just say, yeah, whatever. Okay. It was a goof.
We called ahead of time to ask if the bread was complimentary. They said yes.
And he just kept saying more bread. And I just, everyone, to the credit of the incident, we were very excited eating the bread.
Delicious bread. And amusing story now, too. But that's exactly what this episode's like at the end of it. Oh, well. Geese would have loved it. I'll ask her about it next week. It won't be next week for you. It'll be 2 weeks probably for you. We'll see. Yeah. We'll figure it out. Look forward to footage of Pokemon Centers all around Japan. I know you want to see it. And then what we did last time is that's going to be the YouTube. And then on the podcast services, it'll just be a quick little couple minute things that says, go watch the video.
Sick.
I'll get Geese to do that or Taylor or something. All right, everybody. Time to go move to the wrap up.
Okay. I've heard this enough times.
No, I'm good. You can. Here's the thing. Just
look, okay. This is proven to me that my memory and my attention span are working.
I haven't updated the Twitter and Instagram in a long time, so you can just say the YouTube part.
Oh, this is just from memory. I'm not looking at anything. Thanks everyone for listening. You can follow us at LookListenCast at Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Right? Isn't that how it goes?
Okay, now the next part. Do you remember?
Thanks for our artworth. Yeah, thanks Keith.
Thanks for our artworth.
Thank you for our worthy art, Keith. You can follow him at twitch.tv/professor_ticklebits.
Yep, Keith Squared. And shouts out to Professor Website.
Yeah, for the boilerplate.
Yes. Thank you to our thank you to our supporters. You can support us by going to looklistencast.com or clicking the link on the podcast apps. Spotify for podcasters, Anchor.fm, who knows what it's called? All of it. And also recommend this podcast to your friends and family because it's for all ages, no swear words. Please send questions to looklistencast@gmail.com. Now, whenever Geese is not here, I like for her to be the question asker. She asks this week, Geese Peep, so she's still a part of the episode, which Pokemon would be the sickest skateboarder and why? Geese, I don't even know. You're setting yourself up with this one. It's clearly my boy, your boy, even though she pretends she doesn't like him, Goldango. On his golden surfboard skateboard. So I don't even want to hear it.
I was thinking it was going to be the surfing Pikachu.
Why do we keep talking about snowboarding and surfing when her question is skateboarding?
Well, those have to be transferable skills. I was bad at skateboarding, equally bad at surfing.
There you go. So Taylor's answer is surfing Pikachu from Pokemon Yellow. My answer is Goldango, the greatest Pokemon to ever live. The Geese pretend she doesn't like.
Goldango is the evolution of Gimmighoul. I love Gimmighoul. How are you not going to like Gimmighoul?
She just doesn't like Goldango because he does look like a little string cheese man, but like a mascot for a 90s Capri Sun and string cheese Lunchables pack.
I mean, string cheese is great.
But he's so powerful. His ability, good as gold, not affected by statuses. He's ghost type. Nothing's hitting him. He's so sick.
I've been very much a fan of ghost type Pokemon.
To answer the question of why Geese Peep, it's pretty obvious why, because they both have boards already. And like Taylor said, the skills are transferable. So I don't want to hear it.
I wonder what Geese would say. Geese would probably say something like Piplup.
She'd say Jigglypuff like she says every week.
When's the last time we saw was Jigglypuff not in the To Be a Master arc?
I don't recall.
Oh, I hope so.
Well, on that note, it's time for everybody to say goodbye. Gosh, I hope you're excited about Big Japan videos and And also next week on next anime episode, I believe, is with everybody's favorite adorable little Pokemon, Mousehold. The little mouse that Geese loves.
Oh, that's the one with the multiple mice, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's so, yes, very adorable.
All right, look forward to that. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
One more goodbye to it.
Okay, goodbye.
Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.